Okay, and we are live. Welcome to dotstudioPRO. We bring the platform and, well, you bring the brilliance. So welcome to week 4 of the Film MBA program. I'm your host, Gonzalez, one of the co-founders of dotstudioPRO and My Spotlight TV. So I see we got a couple people on with us today. We got Richard, we got who else we got? We got Stefan Davis. Stefan and myself have been on Slack doing Giphies with each other, so we've been having a good time. And we just wanted to, this is our last week of the Film MBA program, not of the Film MBA program, but the last week in focusing on marketing for the dotstudioPRO platform. Next, we want to focus on audience with you guys. So the first 4 weeks were just about kind of getting us familiar with each other, kind of figuring out a workflow and understanding how we could all start understanding the dotstudioPRO platform from a marketing perspective. Now we want to figure out, in tandem with marketing, how we start to build your audience, because that's the only way you're really going to make money, is by growing your audience and having a fan base that believes in you and that is going to, support you in your monetization, meaning, ad serving and video on demand. So this week I really kind of want to talk about programmatic ads and ad serving and CPMs and understanding the YouTube world, because the feedback that we've been getting from like industry professionals, from like the studios and MCNs, as well as like YouTubers who have been huge, they're all like, what you guys are doing is really amazing, and creators don't really understand CPMs, they don't understand monetization, they're just creating content and they're just getting it out there and engaging their audience, and that's what they're good at. But in terms of understanding how to make money and how to make more money, sure, everybody throws money at creators who are making, like millions and gazillion views, but in terms of like really understanding the business behind creating content, that's where we feel like, sorry guys, I'm just going to turn this off. That's where we feel like the opportunity is for us to really work with you guys to educate you guys. So the first 4 weeks have been about, like understanding dotstudioPRO, understanding Echo Rank, and, really getting everybody to start engaging on Slack. And now we're going to move into, starting next week, we're going to move into audience. So we're going to start figuring out audience and how to grow audience, using the tools that we've identified and understanding the metrics that we've been tracking. Like, what are those quick, easy things that we can do on a daily basis to grow audience? And we kind of dabbled in it in the last, couple weeks, but I really want to go full force into that and really understand it. So today in order to understand audience coming up in the next 4 weeks, I think it's going to be important for everyone to understand what the driver of the reason you need an audience, besides the fact that you need lots of views, is how you're making money. So I just want to kind of go through the whole idea of programmatic ads, because most content creators outside of dotstudioPRO creators don't really hear that very often. They don't hear about programmatic ads and, understanding, the value of their CPM. I think people understand it from a basic level, but I really want us to understand it from like a higher level. So here are some of the things that we've learned over the last little while when it comes to dotstudioPRO and when it comes to your CPM. So anytime I do a demo with anyone who signs up for dotstudioPRO, I always have to explain what programmatic ads are. So in our platform, in your ad serving section, so after you've brought the content in, you've set up the metadata, you've set up your paywall, or you decide, I don't want to do a paywall, I want to do ad serving because I want to give the content away for free, but I want to make some money on it. So there is this thing called an ad server. And we have an ad server running in the background of that section in your dotstudioPRO dashboard where you are scheduling your ads. So if I go to, let's go to, let me share my screen again. Let's share the screen. Okay, so let's go to the dotstudioPRO dashboard, and I'm going to go to my dev account so that you guys can, not showing everybody's stuff. But if I go in here and I go to, we go to this movie. So I go to advertising. So this is where you schedule your ads, right? So you can set your pre-roll, you can set your post-roll. So let's talk about those first. So if you're setting a pre-roll, a post-roll, or even a mid-roll, click to add a mid-roll. Let's add another mid-roll. So if you're setting any of these, basically our ad server in the back end of this that's powering this is basically calling ad exchanges to bid against your content when your end user accesses the stream. How does that work? So basically, when an end user accesses your video stream, unbeknownst to most people on the net, cookies are being dropped in your computers when you are searching, you're shopping, you're doing your online activity. Basically, advertisers and brands, and they're basically dropping like a cookie into your computer that basically lets them know, like, oh, they were looking at Hotwire, or oh, they were looking at Airbnb or whatever. And then you kind of ever notice how you get like a retargeted stuff. So like that's part of like that whole kind of like programmatic world. Like they retarget you until you actually click on something. So in our case, they're clicking on your video. So when your video gets clicked on, so you've scheduled this advertising, you've published it, it's ready to launch. So when somebody clicks on your video, in the background, you know, I usually see that spinning ball of death happening when a video is launching. And I'm going to stop sharing screen again. So when you see that kind of ball spinning and you're like, okay, why isn't the video loading? Basically what's happening with a programmatic ad is that there is a bunch of advertisers who are bidding on your video in real time at that very moment the user's accessing your video stream. And how does the advertisers know who that user is? Well, not only is their computer giving us data that we send back to the ad exchanges quickly, but we're also sending back information. So basically there's a bunch of user data that's being sent back to these advertisers, and in real time they're bidding against your URL, and the highest bidder wins. So basically, if you get served, like I know when I was doing Verizon, like right now I'm doing Scion, a lot of Scion, so I'm getting served a lot of Scion stuff right now. That's because there's cookies in my computer that's letting the advertisers know wherever I go that they should be delivering at Scion stuff to me. So you'll kind of like start to notice that wherever you go, certain stuff is following you. That's because you're being targeted. So when that happens, that basically means that the highest bidder is winning and they're delivering the ad to the end user. What that means for you is that in dotstudioPRO, our CPM floor is $2.50, which is the lowest, and we allow anyone to bid on your content, is at $2.50. And out of that $2.50, we take a 30% revenue and you take a 70% revenue. Now, if you are from the YouTube world, you'll understand that $2.50 floor is not where YouTube starts. Most YouTube creators are making pennies on the dollar, if they're making anything on the dollar at all. So in essence, when you sign up with dotstudioPRO, you may have more of an audience in YouTube. It's about figuring out how to convert your audience to your owned and operated, because that's where you are going to command a larger CPM, and that's cost per thousand. So per 1,000 videos, on a minimum, you're making a minimum floor of $2.50, whereas in YouTube, you're not. You're making less than that, unless you're getting billions of views, and then depending on the type of content you're delivering, you may see higher CPM, like really high CPMs. But that's like what we call the unicorn. Not everyone does that. The majority of people don't do that. So, you know, in terms of understanding, you know, we're going to go into audience building, but in order to audience build, you need to understand how you're making money beyond the video on demand stream. So that CPM is really important. Now, when we introduced My Spotlight, the reason we introduced My Spotlight is because each of your owned and operated environments, in order for the brands to be hitting your owned and operated on a consistent basis at a higher CPM, you need to be getting about 10,000 hits a week on your owned and operated. So that Stefan Davis Films, dotstudioPRO, or Kino Nation, or whoever it is, dotstudioPRO, needs to be getting about 10,000 hits a week in order for the advertisers to really start bidding high on your stuff and really start hitting the system on a regular basis. Because there's that other thing called fill rate. So if you're not getting 10,000 hits a week, your fill rate's going to be low, and you're going to be like, well, how come I'm not getting an ad every time I click on my video to watch it, dotstudioPRO? Well, the reason that's happening is because you don't have enough views yet. So what we had started doing was we started marketing each and every one of you guys individually, and it became a lot of work on top of running a tech company. So we decided we were going to build My Spotlight, and My Spotlight was going to become the aggregator where we could drive all of the audience as well as support your audience in finding you where you could make more money. So what's happened as a result of that is that we're seeing CPMs on My Spotlight starting out at like $6 to $10 on browser. We're seeing 10 to 12 on mobile, and we're seeing 12 to 14 on tablet and OTT. So that means out the gate, you guys on My Spotlight, once we're building audience together on My Spotlight, are starting to see higher CPMs. So I just need to impart on you again, you're not going to make those CPMs in YouTube, but YouTube is a discovery platform, so you do want to figure out how to convert that audience from YouTube as well as Facebook, because they are your free marketing engines. Some of the other things I wanted to kind of look at with you guys were, okay, so you understand I'm giving you the basics on programmatic ads. They're basically delivered to your end user based on the cookies in their computer and the data we're passing back, and everything's happening in real time. The floor is $2.50, which is a great place to start. Most creators don't even make that. And, you know, the idea of My Spotlight is to help everyone gain more money off of ad serving. So I was doing some research online, and I'm going to share this with you, and I will share it in inside of Slack, because after all of these, if you guys go to the Marketing Monday or the Try It Tuesday, I also put it in general, I do put links. So I was doing research. This is an article from this year, from April of this year, and it was talking about this guy went to a TEDx conference. It was a youth conference with his kid, and his kid started watching these videos from these celebrity YouTubers, and these celebrity YouTubers were talking about the fact that they've earned, in how many years now? It's probably been about 4 or 5 years. They've earned $2 million in YouTube ad revenue, which is phenomenal. That they're a unicorn, but they spent $4 million in creating content. And what they identified was the CPM, which is what they, you know, started out wanting to, you know, really be able to command, is what was so low that they weren't making any money. So here you can see, so this is cost per minute. So these are basically like, this is on ad serving on movies, TV, YouTube, and page views. So what you can see here is that people will pay $15 for a 2.5-hour movie, but they'll pay $0 for YouTube content. To get paid as a YouTube creator, you need to rely on your YouTube revenue. And the problem with this data, and the problem with his data, which is what he's showing here, is a valid point. So online content creators are getting paid far less than they are worth. This is what we all know. YouTube has trained our generation that content is free, and they pay you pennies on the dollar when you are actually getting views. Like I said a couple of weeks ago, we have a creator who does about 500,000 views on YouTube, and he's making really low dollars for what he should be making a lot more for. So he actually made 10 times what he made on YouTube with dotstudioPRO by releasing a film on dotstudioPRO versus ad serving on YouTube. And he's now doing an ad serving model and seeing better revenue. So, you know, the idea is really that you look at how you start to command more eyeballs towards your dotstudioPRO accounts or your My Spotlight channel so that you can start to see higher revenues. The other thing that he was mentioning is that at $1 CPM, each banner ad is worth about 1/10 of a cent. So again, that's like peanuts. Like, I mean, you're doing all this work to create content and you're really not making money on platforms like YouTube. There is value in dotstudioPRO, and as we grow, you're only going to continue to see that value in terms of how much you're making. I'm going to share this article. I suggest anybody who is trying to understand how their revenue streams work, you read this article. It's a great, simple article on understanding the value of your worth online. So let me stop sharing screen again. I'm going to stop here for a second, and I'm going to ask today, does anybody have questions? Because now is the time. I don't want to just be a talking head every week. Although my video is not working. So I'll just keep talking, and you'll just keep seeing the green pro, because I guess I'm a pro right now. But I see Stefan Davis said it's true. Anybody else? Ita, I see that you're on. Do you have any questions? Did any of what I said make sense, or were you confused? Oh, am I frozen? Maybe I'm frozen. It makes sense. Okay, well, you can still hear me, Stefan? Okay, great, great, great. So, yeah, this week was really, and it's a quick week this week in terms of check-in. The idea is really that yeah, my screen is still frozen, but you can hear me. You know, the idea is that this week was, let's see, turn camera off, turn camera on. Booyah! Sometimes that's all you got to do. Let's see, Richard. Ita, I think Ita jumped off. So, as I was saying, yeah, programmatic ads, really important to understand. In order for you to understand that next level, like, I mean, what are you doing as a creator? What kind of money do you want to make? And what kind of goals are you setting for yourself? I talked about that last week, Thursday, as well. You know, when you're setting goals, you're understanding your CPMs, you're understanding how to convert your audience, and you're actually seeing it work and you're doing the work, you're going to actually start to see the revenue. I mean, I was just talking with a manager today, a YouTube manager, who was saying, you know, her creators who are doing like 20,000 to 750,000 views are starting to see a couple cents on the dollar per 1,000 views. And when I told her how much our creators were making, she was like, wait a second. She's like, your creators are making a minimum of $2.50. She's like, and you have creators who have been able to command as much as $20 to $25 CPMs. I'm like, yeah. She's like, that's remarkable. You know, for her, who works with YouTubers and Vines and successful ones, she's like, my creators don't rely on their CPM anymore because it's just not enough. She's like, they're working on getting their views so that they can get more brand dollars, people to pay them MGs, like to pay them like a minimum guarantee for their content. Like, you know, like some platforms are paying creators like, you know, put your content here and we're going to pay you money. But creators aren't actually seeing what they started out to make was the revenue on CPM. So, you know, in terms of the next steps for dotstudioPRO, I wanted to make sure that we are armed with information on, I mean, VOD is pretty simple. We take a 50-cent transaction, whatever you charge, you make the lion's share of the revenue. And once you hit $20 in your first quarter or more, you get paid out. So that's pretty simple. But the ad serving world is like a whole other thing that it's like, for you to understand what the true value is and what's happening, it's important for us to educate you guys about programmatic ads. And there are other ways of monetizing through ad serving if you have your own brand on board. And you can contact us directly and we'll work with you. We're working with creators on that now. If you have a brand that specifically wants to work with you against your content, there are multiple ways using that case study with NanJam that dotstudioPRO can help you. And you can actually turn around and say to the brand, well, I want you to pay me X amount of dollars per 1,000 views. So, and here's the value that I can provide you. So if you want that, we'll arm you with that. So next, we're going to talk with EchoRank, because Roxy's on, and Roxy emailed me, or I think emailed me or texted me that they've got some interesting stuff that they're working on. So I think it would be great in our last week together through this program, we're going to move into audience building and really focus on building value and figuring out how we can like drive audience for each other next. But Roxy, take it away. Can't hear you. Google. Stop your audio and start it again. Do you have earphones in? Try earphones. We want to hear what Roxy has to say. It's a no bueno in there. It's a no-go. Uh-oh. God damn it, you want to log out and log back in? Can't hear. Oh. Laugh out loud. Whoops. Yeah, you frozen. No, I'm not frozen. Am I frozen? No, it's good. Richard, you're confusing me. Okay, Roxy, I think, logged out to log back in. I saw Ita log out and log back in. Ita, did you have questions?
No, I'm good so far.
Are you learning? Is this helping?
Yeah. You know, for some reason I can't see you, but for what that's worth.
Oh, I can see me, but I don't know. Google, you know, it's Google. They change things every week. Things don't work. I mean, it's technology. You know what I'm saying? Gotta love technology. That's right, Stefan. Did Roxy come back? So in the meantime, while we're waiting for Roxy, some of the other things to think about, guys, is like for a couple bucks a week, you could be running like a YouTube campaign or like a video ad, and a video ad could just literally be 15 seconds of like your short or 15 seconds of your series or movie, and you could be running YouTube ads. Like, I mean, I think, you could do like a $20 buy-in or run an ad on Facebook. Those are ways to also start building audience. So beyond, because Twitter has a good conversion, but Twitter's conversion sometimes is interesting. I mean, we're seeing with Twitter that while we're getting a high conversion, the click-through rate isn't as great. But on Facebook, we're getting a lesser amount of people, but a higher impression and conversion. And Amethyst has been tracking all of this, so if I'm saying it wrong, Amethyst, you can correct me. Yeah, like just for a couple bucks a week, like it's an investment. It's an investment in your content. It's an investment in your future. And here's the other thing. I know we're all filmmakers, and for us, it's all about, premium content. But the other portion of that is your audience wants to hear your authentic voice. So you should be creating check-in videos, clips, saying, hey, I'm here, shouting them out, talking about what you're learning, talking about what you're creating, just so that you can, start to build a rapport with your audience, because they want to hear your authentic voice. I mean, your filmed content is great, but they want to hear your authentic voice. Why do you think we're doing Google Hangout with you guys? Because it's important for us to build, a relationship with you. And the internet's made it so that it's really easy. And now we have Roxy. Yay!
Okay, good. Awesome. Yeah, so we've started to take a look. Our focus right now is on media and entertainment, and so we're working on a little analysis of how viral the TV shows were for this fall season. And so when you go into EchoRank and you go into your landscape view, what that does is it gives you the context of the conversation based on your industry, right? So if I'm a film producer, I come into EchoRank, and what I want to know is what conversation is happening around audiences for media and entertainment. So what that might look like is, what are the top pages, what are the top sites, what are the most viral hashtags that are trending. So right now, Fear the Walking Dead, Once Upon a Time, these are the trending hashtags in TV entertainment for media and entertainment. So what we did is we started pulling together our own site analysis just to take a look at what are other TV producers doing. Oh, and I don't actually have you screen shared, no wonder. Okay, so let me do that first. I'm like pointing to things and you can't even see them. Okay. Okay, so you come into EchoRank, you have your media and entertainment section. You can take a look at, the top viral hashtags, the influencers that are driving the most traffic in the site, what are the most viral keywords, in that space as well. You come into your overview section and you'll see the most viral domains and pages and conversations, tweets. So this is to give you a sense of what is actually happening in your industry, in your space. When you come into your space, sorry, one second here. When you come into your space, what you'll want to see is, where you actually rank, how many more people you need to reach, what does your potential audience size look like. So we started doing an analysis of the most viral TV shows in the last month, and one of the things that I'll point out here really quickly, because I know we're running out of time, so Walking Dead is one of the really viral TV shows right now, but if you look at what The Walking Dead is doing, and this is based on hashtags, mind you, right? So again, using hashtags to generate conversation, to have conversation happening around your show, right? So a lot of these shows actually will put the hashtags right in there. You're viewing it, you're watching it, and then they're putting the hashtags in there for you to start having a conversation about it. You as the audience member, for the audience to have a conversation about it, and formulate a conversation. So The Walking Dead has about 16 different hashtags that they use. Walking Dead, Walker withdrawal, fan premiere, fan getaways, they do sweepstakes, promotions, and they create a lot of buzz around the launch of a series. So for you guys that are out there putting your new episodes out there, you're promoting them, you're putting it on My Spotlight TV, I would encourage you to try to kick up some dust by creating your own hashtags, your own, sweepstakes. It doesn't even have to be expensive, but just kind of try to generate a little buzz around the release of your shows using these hashtags. And so what we do is we let you see what's really viral in your space using the most viral hashtags. Sorry, we have a dog over here that's barking a lot. So what we do is we try to show you the most viral conversations based on the hashtags that are really viral in your space. So that's really high level for right now. I'll put something a little more nice together for you guys to see some of the results of what we've put together. But we're basically saying, asking the question of who are the most viral TV producers out there? Who are the most viral movies? So if any of this stuff is of interest to you guys, feel free to, reach me on the dotstudioPRO Slack. And we can, kind of get some additional data points for what kind of information you want to see. But we feel like the best way for you to learn how to create an audience and get more people around your content is also by looking at what's actually working out there, who is actually dominating the space, what are they doing that's making them so successful. One little tidbit, BET is incredibly viral, so that's one of the things that we noticed from amongst all of the other networks. They seem to be doing really well at engaging their audience, and if you go onto their Twitter page, you see just a lot of consistent engagement. One thing that I have also noticed, like if you go to EchoRank, you'll see the most viral domains, right? And from here you can also take a look at what are the most viral pages. So if I want to take a look at, what are the most viral conversations that are happening in my space or amongst my competition, I can come here and I can click on this. So right now I'm going to click on Vivo, for instance. And I'm clicking on Vivo, and now I see what is the thing that is most viral and what are the conversations that are drawing the most virality. One of the things that you'll notice from the most viral content producers is they actually repeat the same message over and over and over again, and that's how they drive a lot of traffic around one particular conversation. So I'm guessing right now if I click on this, I'm going to see the exact same tweet over and over. So
and now, Roxy, are they actually just retweeting it or actually copying the text?
I think it looks like a copy paste because it's not as a retweet, it's pasted as an original post. So you see the original post date here, right? So October 1st, 9:19 p.m., Palo Alto Comic Core, right? So if I come in here again, exact same thing, September 27th. Exact same thing.
Gotcha.
September 26th, right? And so and this is the same thing that Target does as well. So if we were to take a look at what is Target up to, I'm going to guess that we're going to see, because Target's really viral as well, we'll probably see the same kind of thing where they have this one promotion and they continue to post it over and over and over again. And if it goes viral, if it starts getting some lift, they just post it again. So it might feel tedious, but one way that you can take a look at how viral it is by using EchoRank. So you can come in here, schedule a bunch of tweets. Once your tweets are published, it'll show you how people are engaging with it. Are they favoriting it? Are they sharing it? And then from there, if you're getting shares, that's where your Echo score starts to come up. But we also show you the engagement here through the favorites column. So yeah, take a look at what's happening. We start showing you what your top keywords are, what your top links are, who are your top influencers, meaning who are the people that are driving the most traffic for you specifically. So there's a lot of fun stuff here that you can play with. Always feel free to reach out to me if you have questions. I'm happy to go through it in more detail. And in a couple of weeks, we're going to be launching this with Facebook data as well, so you can actually start seeing information like the demographics of certain hashtags or sites or producers. So a lot more cool stuff to come down the pipeline as well.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Roxy. We're excited about that, and I think we probably should. We're going to work on the next 4 weeks with audience engagement, so we can really start to figure out conversion.
Yeah.
Audience. So, guys, the last thing is just simply, no, not that. As a reminder, so in the stats section of your dotstudioPRO dashboard, this is where you can track your views, your channel views, how much you're making on ad serving. Obviously, it's not a paid customer because paid customers are VOD. You can track where you're getting your traffic from, and you can track which of these videos are doing the best for you. And then you can track your channels, and this, if you're selling something, you'll see top customers. So really important for you to be able to understand, programmatic ads, how that conversion works, and how to start figuring out how to even convert 10% of your audience from your social platforms that are your extensions. With that being said, it's another week in dotstudioPRO Film MBA. It's our last week. Track It Thursday's coming up. We're going to be tracking stuff. We also need to announce, I don't know if Steve Strangio is watching today, but Steve Strangio was our most shared, most viral person online. He posted a gazillion times a day. So he's doing the Twitter stuff that EchoRank suggested. And, so for that, Steve Strangio, we are going to work with you on a Facebook campaign for 1 week. And we will invest in your Facebook campaign. So if anybody wants to get in on the next round of that, it's all about, making sure that you contact us and reach out to us so we can talk with you about how you too can get a campaign created around you so that you can get your content out there some more and get a little bit of support from dotstudio.
And I'm also happy to give you guys some demos. I know I walked through this with Steve as well, Chico's Angels, who's been really active too. So, feel free to reach out. I'll give you guys a demo and walk you through how to use the platform.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Rox.
Yeah.
So this is another week in dotstudioPRO Film MBA marketing number 4, our last week of marketing. We're moving on to audience marketing. So the general marketing is done. We're now moving into a targeted audience building. And if you guys have any questions, Slack is the name of the game. We're all having fun on there. For those of you who are on there, thank you. We're Giphying it up, so lots of Giphies are being shared around on Slack. Stefan and myself had a whole conversation in GIF today. And we appreciate you guys. We are here to empower you. Remember, dotstudioPRO's mission is to empower our peers in the entertainment industry to monetize their content and build a business out of their digital studios. So with that being said, hasta la vista, baby. I'll talk to you later. Have a good rest of the day, and we'll see you on Thursday. We bring the platform, and, well, you bring the brilliance, right? Because you're brilliant, and we love you. Peace out.